Doot 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 doot.
So I go, good luck, have fun. Actually, I just go, good luck, because that's my standard greeting.
Hmm.
Um, I don't
You don't
want
like
them to
people
have.
having fun.
Well, yeah, that just means they're beating me, right?
No, you can have fun while losing.
Can you though?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I say good luck, and he goes, no, good luck, have fun, and a frowny face, and I was like, whoa. And so I said, okay, and then he threw another like a crying face at me, and I was like, this guy is weird. How was that the opening interaction? So then I drone scout like I always do, and I get up there and I get a couple shots off on his SCV building the barracks, and he pulls an SCV off to deal with it, and I go home. And he goes, did you get all the scouting you needed? And I was like, yeah, I was just checking to make sure he didn't have a proxy. And he goes, I could be one base all ending you for all that you know. And I was like, yes, you could. Absolutely true. So
Okay.
fun. So I do what I often do against Terran these days is I two base bailing bust him because for some reason people aren't really expecting that. And yeah, so I show up with 5 banelings and a whole ton of speedlings, and he's got a bunch of marine. Like his front door to his natural is wide open. He just has a saturated natural sitting there with nothing defending it. There's marines up on the ramp defending that.
Oh god.
But I crush him with the banelings because they're all packed together, and then I get into his base and I beat him. And he goes, and so then I go, oh, because previous to this, he actually got an SCV into my base a little bit. He checked my natural and kind of up my ramp into my main, but he didn't see the baneling nest. And then he went
Right.
home with the SCV. So then after I beat him, I was like, did you get all the scouting you needed? And then he responds in all caps, that didn't count. He was a funny fellow. Like, I don't think he was taking it seriously, but I didn't usually have that much interaction with people when I play.
You know what? It sounded like he had fun while he was losing.
I hope so. I hope he wasn't really mad. It's hard to tell sometimes, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can be.
all caps, that didn't count. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's in fun, but part of me is like, maybe he was really mad.
No, it sounds like fun to me.
All right, good. Well, I'm glad that he was having fun, even if he didn't wish me to have fun.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah, feeling a little bit better. And then I beat a Zerg with my standard 15, 14, 14. Same thing, Banelings, Speedlings at the front. Because boy, do I hate ZVZ. And I actually had somebody yesterday, like after I did this and beat them, for some reason they had a Baneling nest, but they didn't make defensive Banelings when they saw me coming. They just tried to like extra wall off at the front with 2 layers of buildings. And I said, that's not gonna, I have like 30 Speedlings at your front. It's not gonna really help all that much. So then I beat them, and their response is every Z. What did he say? Something about every Z in Diamond or every Z in North America or like the Americas server all ins. And I was like, yeah. I just said, man, I just hate ZVZ mid game. It's the worst thing in the world for me. I've tried it a whole bunch of times. I suppose I could figure it out, but every time I try to get to the mid game, I go for roaches, I go for ravagers, I scout what they're doing, and they just have twice as many army units as I do, and I just die. And it's like, I need to figure out these timings. I know the timings for their other matchups, but against Z, it's just like my macro is horrible. And then I tried like getting a ton of workers out because that's clearly what they're doing. If they have a bigger army than I do, is they have more workers, toward the first 5 or 6 minutes. So I tried that, and then I died to more units anyway. So I don't know. It's a really, really tricky balance, and I could take the time to try to figure it out, but I have like an 80% win rate right now in Z, so I'm just going to roll with it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, like if Blizzard doesn't want the early game to be really susceptible to getting all in with Lings and Banelings, they should change their game.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have any StarCraft ladder stories at all?
No.
Oh,
No.
all right.
I played 3 games today against AIs.
Okay, how'd that go? I hope you won.
Yeah, I did.
Excellent.
It reminded me of just how quickly a Protoss can get cannons into your base, because I won that game in 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
Oh my gosh, that is zippy.
Yeah. Because the war chest, it requires XP to unlock the new skins, and you get 100,000 XP for winning a first game of the day, and they let you do that against easy AI in custom games.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I just threw it up on a biogenesis, and then like 12 pulls and cannon rush and proxy 2 racks. Quickest 30,000 XP ever.
And the AI didn't respond at all. Yeah.
No,
Correct,
of course not,
because it was easy.
It was on very easy AI.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good experience beating up on handicapped AI.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was. So speaking of ladder games and stories and whatnot, hey, I still haven't had anybody send me a story or a replay of their worst ladder game of all time. I know you guys have a story out there. I know like 2 of you at least can think back to your times of playing ladder in StarCraft and being like, okay, that's the time I literally almost punched my monitor because this happened. So
Yeah, people are bound to have these stories. They just don't want to tell you, apparently.
yeah, apparently not. I might have said that you needed to send me the replay in conjunction with it. No, you don't have to do that. Just tell me the story. I don't even care if it's true. If you have an entertaining ladder story, go ahead and send it to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of ladder stories, and I will read it on the podcast. And if it's entertaining and we laugh, then that's even better. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. What if I just transcribe the Huck v Idra match and then replace the names? Can I do that?
If I don't recognize you're doing it, you can get away with it, sure.
When I then say and then the next game we started, I typed, lose, I was Haluk.
I'd have to be having a very bad day to not recognize what was happening at that point. So good luck.
Okay. So
That is a really wonderful story. I really wish Zerg or Protoss players did that more. I just think so many Zerg players rely on Sloverlord scouting and don't quite get a full scout off into the main base, and they don't quite know what the tech is from the Protoss, especially at the lower levels.
yeah.
That if you showed up with a ton of zealots and just hallucinated 5 Colossus, I bet you can get a lot of people to just rage quit. Absolutely.
Probably, yeah.
They'd be like, how do they have 50 zealots and 8 Colossus at the 5-minute mark? It's a great question.
It's a good question.
Tricks.
It is indeed. Yeah.
Tricks. So do that. Send them to me.
Speaking of pro matches, I don't know if anyone's been talking about it, but the groups for BlizzCon are out.
Holy what? They are?
Yeah, that's why I've been surprised that nobody's talking about it, because they're just
How long have they been out?
I don't know. I saw them a couple days ago.
To WCSStarcraft2.com.
Through your link.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
Didn't bleep because streamer mode was on.
Oh.
I don't think it really matters for this. Should I record? I won't record desktop sounds if I'm in Audacity.
No, it shouldn't.
I'm not going to test it.
Does Audacity count for activating streamer mode? Why is streamer mode activated? Do you have OBS open?
Nope. It's just up.
Oh, that's weird.
It is weird. Group stages. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay. Do you want to take one group at a time and just go through the list?
Of course.
Okay. You want to read the group A?
I will read Group A. It is TY, American Hero Neeb, Lambo, and the King of all Terrans, Maru.
Oh my gosh, that is brutal. Sorry, Neeb. I love you, man.
Sorry. we love you, but you're not going to get out of that group.
Absolutely not. I just want to emphasize, I love you, but you're dead. Yeah. Dang, Maru and TY in there. And Lambo's playing pretty well. He beat Showtime a couple times in the group stages of Montreal. And Showtime,
good.
as we know, is the second best player in the WCS foreigner rankings at this point.
It's true.
Which is still impressive, even if it's a billion points below Cyril.
Yeah.
All right. So I see that going Maru, TY, Lambo, Neeb, or maybe Neeb, Lambo, depending on how Neeb's playing.
Maybe. I think Maru obviously gets through here. And then, because it's 2+2 failed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to say either Lambo or TY. I'm probably leaning TY.
Okay. Interesting. Has TY not been playing as well as I think he has?
No, I think he's been playing pretty well.
Okay.
I just want to have Foreigner Hope.
Ah, yes. Fair enough. Acceptable hope. All right. Group B is going to be Zest, Hero Marine, SOS, and Cyril. Wow. That's a fun one
Yeah.
too.
Thoughts?
I mean, Cyril's going through, knowing there's going to give him really much of a super challenge.
No. Zest, maybe.
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 But
That's the thing.
Cyril's
Then maybe.
ZVP is abjectly terrifying right now. I mean, yeah. I can't remember a ZVP where he has really, really struggled hard against it in the last year. Hero Marine, like, I love you too, but...
I mean, Cyril versus Stats for GSL versus the World went to Game 5.
I did forget about GSL versus the World. Okay. All right. So maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he struggles a bit there with Zest still coming out. I mean, if SOS is continue his little run of taking second place and everything he competes in, I think he has to come out as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have Group C, which is Dark, Stats, Showtime, and Haas.
Ooh.
3 Protoss in that group.
Yeah, that's kind of stacked for P right there. None of the other groups have more than 2, and 2 of them just have 1. Interesting distribution. So obviously, again, the second best player in WCS is present, but he's also dealing with Stats and Dark, and has.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Bit of a wild card there. But, I mean, I think the Koreans can probably easily take Haas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so.
Especially in, what are these? These are best of threes, right?
Yeah, they go best of 3s all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. And, actually, if you click on matches, it'll tell you who versus who first.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did not. Okay. So it's Stats versus Has straight out the gate.
Wow, PvP. That's going to be cheesy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there has to be PvP in that group because only one person can verse Dark first.
True.
Yeah.
And then Showtime draws Dark. That's your reward, Showtime, for being the second best player in the WCS circuit, is you got to play Dark very first in the BlizzCon group stages. Jeez.
Yep.
I don't see that going well for Showtime. Like, I understand the Foreigner Hope concept, but Dark, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm probably going to put money down on Stats and Dark there.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah.
And then Group D, we have Inertio, Special, Rogue, and Classic. So Rogue won BlizzCon last year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so returning hero Rogue. I mean, I like Special's ZVT, which he's going to be playing a bunch of here. And he does play Rogue first, so that's going to be right off the bat. His ZVT is pretty good. Although I'm trying to think, the games that I've cast of his recently, I cast a couple of his games versus Raynor for Montreal, and Raynor beat him in both of those games.
Right.
And as good as Raynor is, and as good as he's going to be, he's still 16 years old. So, I mean, I have to imagine that Rogue is a little bit better than Cyril is.
Yeah.
You reluctantly agree with that?
Because you said Cyril, not Raynor.
Oh! Right. Rogue is better than Raynor is.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I like Inertio, but I can't remember a time I've really seen him perform all that well in BlizzCon.
No. Yeah. Also, when was the last time he won something? I really can't remember the last time he won something.
Me neither. He's been solid, to really good for a long time. He took second place in Austin in 2017. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only time he's placed anywhere in the top 4 in a WCS event since April of 2017.
Yeah. So I'm looking at his past events, and it says WCS Challenger EU preseason. He took 4th place, but who would have been in that? Other than that, his most recent form is WCS Montreal. He came 24th.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since he's even really been relevant in a WCS event, let alone BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So I don't see him coming out.
No.
And Special either. So I think that's really a Rogue Classic. Classic's been playing exceptionally well.
Yep.
All right. So who is that? That's Maru and Lambo potentially from Group A. I think that's what we tentatively agreed on.
Yeah, and then Serral SOS is what we were thinking.
Yep. Just because SOS has to make it to at least to second place in BlizzCon.
I mean, that's Sue you're thinking of.
Ah, crap! It is. Why am I? Because I'm tired. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where?
Sue's not here.
No, he's not. Why do I keep? I've done that 2 or 3 times in this podcast, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. SOS.
Do you want to take a nap and we'll come back and record this tomorrow?
Nope. No, we're doing this. We're doing this now. We're here. We're in.
All right.
We're committed.
Committed.
Okay. SOS does not have any kind of a history taking second places in tournaments. Nope. Not at all.
No.
Different player entirely. I can't remember the last time I watched an SOS match, honestly.
You clearly don't watch GSO.
Nope. Really should, though.
Because he came second in GSL Super just in September 30th.
Yeah, I see that. Classic beat him 4-3. What a series that must have been. Dang.
Yeah. And now he's got to face Classic right back here again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then also took second place in IAM Season 7 Pyeongchang. Scarlet 4-1'd him. That was back in February of this year. So yeah, he's been consistently doing some good stuff in major tournaments over the last 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. Premier versus major.
I mean, I think we're both just dark in stats for Group C.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And then just Rogue and Classic for Group D.
Yeah.
Can't argue much with that. Well, good. I'm excited. When does this thing start? October 26th. Cool.
Yeah.
Coming right up.
Couple days.
Yeah. One or two. Well, excellent. We'll watch those with great excitement, as I'm sure everybody listening to this will. Although I do think some people listen to this who don't play StarCraft at all.
Yeah, statistically likely.
Yeah. Like your brother, maybe.
Yeah. Well, my brother, my sister.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Possibly my dad and mother.
I have a brother-in-law who listens to it. He doesn't care about StarCraft.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know. I've tried. He's a gamer. He's just not a StarCraft guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's more of like a single player story, kind of a Witcher 3 type dude, which I understand that as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's more of his jam.
Fair enough.
Indeed. All right, cool. So, in other RTS news, I will be casting Warcraft 2 on my Twitch channel starting Saturday and Sunday. Well, by the time this posts, it will be the first weekend will be over, so you're going to miss the opening missions.
Spoiler, this is going to come out tonight.
Wait. Yes, exactly. Yep.
No, I'm not kidding. Because, this would be the first time in, forever that we're recording an episode of the podcast before the last one's even out. Because I was kind of forgotten that I actually had to edit it, right? I was like, great, I finally got Falcon's Half. That's the podcast done for this week. That's all I needed, right?
Okay. Sure.
So I my mind just did not work for that. It actually needs to work. So this is going to be the Falcon Paladin Hour uncut and unedited. This is going out as is. I'm going to sync up the audio files and push it out the door.
Oh my gosh. All the ums and me thinking that SOS's Sue is going to make it in.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's going to be staying.
I can't tell if you're joking or not. This feels like a joking thing.
I'm not.
All right. Well, in that case, Warcraft 2 is in a few days. Saturday, this weekend, if you're in the United States, and then like a weird Sunday, Monday thing if you're in Australia.
Yeah.
Yep. But very excited. I mean, Warcraft 2 is my first RTS. It's my first love for the RTS, my first Blizzard game as well. And I haven't played it at all since StarCraft came out. So I'm very excited to see if it's still as hard as I remember, or if I just sucked at gaming back when I was 14, and that's entirely possible as well.
I mean, we're talking about Warcraft 2. When did this game come out?
96 or something? They were 96. Busting out games in the 90s. It's like Warcraft 1, 94, Warcraft 2, 96, StarCraft, 98, and then Brood War also 98. Like, they were working so hard. And then after that, it was Warcraft 3, which came out, I want to say 2002 or so. So there was a good chunk of time between there.
I'm just thinking Warcraft 2, it still runs on modern systems. So I know there's some issues with older games.
Yeah, DOSBox is how I'm going to do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I have tested that before.
Okay, that's good.
Good. So yeah, very excited for that. So if you have not checked me out on Twitch at all, you probably should do so. Also, we have been doing the World of Warcraft stuff on the weekdays on the Twitch as well. A little bit on YouTube streaming late at night, but I don't know. We're kind of experimenting with that. Going to maybe switch that over to a different game as well as soon as we kind of end up the World of Warcraft. But if you have any suggestions of things to stream, like always, feel free to let me know. I'm always looking to see what the people are interested in.
Yeah, because there are a lot of games on Steam and not on Steam. And so finding the one that would actually be fun to play is a little hard.
It is.
Especially, like, did you know that Steam's library of games increases by 30% every year?
Holy crap, no.
Yeah.
Like consistent growth over time, 30% year over year?
Pretty much, yeah.
Dang.
I mean, I'm sure, like, a couple percent here and there, but, you know. I just think about that. If there was, I think there was, like, 30,000 games in 2016 on Steam, and it's gone up by 30% every year.
And a lot of it is stuff I have no interest in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Even like, a lot of that stuff is garbage, regardless of your interest. you can be not interested in good games.
True.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so yes, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know. So, speaking of streaming, I hear you've been streaming on not Twitch and not YouTube.
That is very true. I have been streaming on all of the places where it's possible to stream, and by that I mean also on Africa. So I got contacted by a caster named Laughin' Games. It's very interesting. He primarily does StarCraft and Minecraft stuff on his YouTube channel. So that's kind of his deal. I've never really met anybody who's like heavy into both of those things, at least not casters, but that's kind of where his name came from. And he wanted to know if I'd be willing to cast with him on Africa, doing an Africa World tournament, is what it's called. Africa World 23. And I said, who's the player list? And I looked at it and I was like, holy smokes. We've got Cure. We have Haz involved. Fantasies there as well. Solar's playing. Lenok was supposed to show up. So I said, all right, this is higher level stuff. This is the highest level tournament I've ever cast live. Like the Gauntlet was never quite this this highly ranked worldwide, right?
Well, I mean, players like Lenok and Solar had shown up, but not like Cure versus Solar.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't really have consistently great matchups starting on round 1. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Cast for like 4 hours on Saturday night. Cast another 3 hours on Sunday night. Cure was a beast. He did not drop he dropped one map. The entire series dropped one game to Keen in a best of 7. Otherwise, he 3-0'd Solar, which was just insane. And just looked fantastic all the way through. Haz was fun, a good combination of incredible micro and cheesing skills with macro skills. A couple games where game got into the 25-30 minute range, and he was still as great as anybody else. Which I think a lot of people tend to forget about Haz, is that he's very capable of doing that. Just because he cheeses a lot doesn't mean it's because he can't play the late game. He can absolutely play the late game.
I mean, he can play the late game, but it's not like he's dark or rogue at the late game.
Correct. Yeah. He's not, I'm
Yep.
just saying, he's not helpless. It's not like if you beat his cheese and get to the late game, he just dies.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not some guy on ladder.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's not like me cheesing in ZVZ because he doesn't have a late game ZVZ. So anyway, it's been fun. And so as far as I know, I will be continuing to cast with them. I'm getting paid for it, which is fantastic. I got a contact at Africa for that. I'm trying to see if I can talk to him about getting replays from GSL to cast. That would be really fun.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So hopefully this will lead to good things in the future for the Falcon Paladin brand.
Yeah. Any chance you could talk to your contact at Africa about not streaming it on Africa?
Could we put this on Twitch like regular people?
Well, I mean, don't say regular people because that's kind of just like offending everyone who uses Africa regularly because it's just not aimed at Western markets.
Yeah, good point. I mean, that's the thing. The vast majority of the audience is Korean. And
Yeah,
so,
because
yeah.
I mean, I tried to watch, and I'm like, okay, let's start typing, and then when you click on the chat box for the stream, it announces in chat that you've arrived.
Yeah.
It's like, hello, Summicron's here. I'm like, I didn't need to know that. Other people don't need to know that.
Oh, you wanted to keep your privacy.
Yeah, I mean, if I really wanted it, I could just not sign up as Summicron.
True.
Which is funny, because that name was taken.
You have a doppelganger.
No, it was me. It's just I couldn't recover that account because I used like a sign-in service with like Facebook.
Yeah.
You know how they
they
just
linked
log
it.
in with that. Yeah, except I deactivated my Facebook, so the account's just in a weird void of limbo.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Way to go.
Yeah. Yep. So I made a new account, and that's what I did. But then also letters on the keyboard would just make words when you put the. That sounds stupid. Letters
Sure
on the
does.
keyboard.
Like I put letters in and words would show up. What's up with that?
No, okay. So I pressed the Z key, but not Z would come up on the in the chat box. It would have with, when I think it was W is in.
Wait, so like
What?
single letters corresponded to entire words?
Yes.
Sounds like a user problem.
I mean, did you not have that problem?
No, I was typing in there and everything was cool. It was very American English.
That's weird.
That is weird. I have no idea what you were seeing there. That's crazy pants.
I mean, I messaged you while this was going on because I was kind of hoping you would also be like, yeah, I guess that's a little weird. But you apparently no.
No, I have a hard time checking all of the things while I'm casting.
Well, no. I mean, if you were talking in chat, I was thought maybe you would have seen that, but I guess you've just never used the letters Z or W in speech.
I feel like I use W. I can't say if I use Z or not, though. So yeah, it was either Korean chattering, which I had no idea what they were talking about, or else the couple people who were Korean but spoke fairly good English were talking about stuff. And then there were a couple native English speakers, it seemed like, who were there for gambling purposes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, hey, what are the results of this game? Like, hey, who do you think is going to win this one? I'm thinking about putting money on fantasy, but I need your guys' opinion. It was funny.
Fair enough. You know, you can like right click and that it'll just give you like translate to English, and then Google will on the fly translate all the Korean speakers.
Holy what? No, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's not brilliant because there are some words where it's like, I don't think it's translating that properly.
Yeah. Google Translate's not that great.
You can get the like the gist of it when they're like, who won the last game, and it comes out as last game winner ?
True.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that for sure. Not that, I mean, I can really respond to them in any way that they would understand what I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
well,
I mean, at least you can see it and know what they're saying. When they're yelling at you to cast Brood War better or something, I don't know.
correct.
Yeah.
That'll be good to know. It's like, I don't speak your language, but I can tell you guys suck, so get better. Get good, scrub.
Scrub, get on it.
I mean, I don't know. That's weird, right? Watching StarCraft being cast in a language that is not your own, that you don't understand at all.
No, I think that's weird. I mean, I think lots of people do it.
Real? Okay.
Like,
fair enough.
English speakers go to GSL and sit in the audience, but they don't play Tastosis over the speakers. They've got the Korean casters.
True, but I mean, that's a pretty small subset of people that watch StarCraft is the ones that go to GSL, right?
Yes. And I mean, I see a lot of them sitting there with like a headphone in their ear, and they're usually sharing the other one with their buddy, and they've got a phone that's streaming the English version, so they can't hear it. But sometimes there are people that aren't, and like, I don't know, most people have enough of an understanding to know that what you're looking at is probably what they're talking about.
Sure.
Or, you know, they can at least look at the game and see what's going on. They don't need the caster. The caster's just kind of like a hype man.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I first found out that StarCraft was an esport, I watched some VODs of Korean cast StarCraft Brood War games. And yeah, I was like, I didn't understand what they were saying at all, but it was still kind of fun to just listen to them be hype about stuff. Because those guys are hype about everything. Like the first barracks goes down, hype. It's crazy.
Hey, gotta be hype to make hype.
Yes, exactly.
money.
Yeah.
Spend hype to make hype. Yeah.
And I get that. Like, I try to be hype about hype stuff, but I can't be that hype about a
Barracks.
standard opening. Like, it's a 1-rax expand. You see this every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about StarCraft?
No, I think that covers all of the StarCrafty things.
All right.
All right. So moving into the world of anime, which we have started to speak to with great more frequency recently. So Samacron caught up. Huh?
Yeah. I'm on a huge anime binge at the moment.
Right. And some of it sucks and some of it is good.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird how that works.
Yep.
So anyway, Samacron caught up on My Hero Academia. So we've both seen the movie and we've both caught up on all of the episodes and it's great. So we had a bit of a discussion while we were recording our Let's Play. What am I going to call it? I don't know, for Patreon, the Grim Dawn stuff, which you might have seen some links for.
Yeah.
And I had some concerns about a new character that has shown up. So My Hero Academia, for those who don't know, is just about a young boy who dreams to being a superhero one day. Superheroes are fairly common throughout his version of the world. So this isn't like a crazy wish, but it turns out he doesn't have a superpower, and he's very sad about it until he meets the biggest hero in the world, who he's worshipped since he was a little boy, and the hero gives him power, yada, yada, yada. So he's the protagonist. And he's the guy that we've been following through all this time as like the young, up-and-coming, incredible talent that's going to be the guy when the current big hero retires, et cetera, et cetera. And for the first time really in the series, I guess they gave a bit of a... not just a rival, but another student who is very capable and better than our protagonist is at this stage in his development.
Yeah.
Okay, so his name is Mirio. I don't know how to say that accurately.
No, I think you're nailing
Is
it.
that about right?
Yeah, it sounds like what they had for the English dub.
Yeah. So anyway, so he shows up with 2 other of the top 3 students in the school. They're called the Big Three, which I don't think we talked about this. I complained about this to somebody else, but is the phrase "big 3" in English common in Japanese culture? Because they're saying "big 3."
This was something you talked to me about.
Okay.
And I basically settled my feelings on it was English culture permeates in weird ways into other cultures the same way they come into ours.
Yes.
And maybe, just maybe, that the concept of having the big 3 at the top, right, is something that the Japanese maybe is recognizable everywhere. Like, because you were watching it in Japanese and they were saying big 3 in English.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, but like heavily accented English with Japanese accents, right?
Yeah.
They're not like speaking in Japanese and then go big 3 in American. It's very much like a big 3, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the voice actors are still Japanese,
Yeah.
speaking Japanese.
Exactly.
So I guess they keep their accent.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
So actually, I just Googled big 3 in Japan. And it can refer to Japan's big 3 automobile manufacturers, Toyota, Nissan, and Honda.
Nissan, but okay.
Yeah, so maybe the concept of big 3 has has existed for a long time in Japanese culture and is just referred to in the English term for it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Anyway, so that happens. So bottom line, this kid, he's a couple years further along in the Hero High School program. And he's trying to tell them all the importance of why they should do internships, basically. Work experience type stuff.
Work studies.
Work study. Thank you. That's the term. And he's really not great at explaining himself, and the other 2 are even worse than he is at speaking to groups.
Which is fine. They're students, not teachers.
They are, but they don't even have, basic public speaking skills.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, okay. The girl's okay. She's a little forward.
She's really not okay. She gets sidetracked and starts asking personal questions of the students when she's supposed to be doing something else. She's not okay.
I mean, I'm talking on just an interaction level. She's not the other dude who's just I want to go home, turns around and puts his head on a wall.
The other dude has really crazy anxiety issues, which I hope he has diagnosed and is working on, because holy crap, that guy.
Good luck being a hero when you can't talk to anyone.
Yeah. Good luck showing up to the scene of a huge battle and being like, I can't talk to anyone. And could everyone just like leave so I can do my job?
Including the villains, please leave.
Right. It'd be easier for him. So anyway, nobody can really explain how important this is, and nobody is really necessarily taking them seriously as the big three, because they're very weird. And so one of them has the idea, well, Mirio, why don't you fight the entire class? Or is that his idea? I can't remember.
It's his idea.
It is. So he's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. Instead of words, I'm going to fight all of you at once. And they're like, wait, what? All of us? There's like 15 of us. Mm-hmm. And he says, 20. Yeah. Is it 20?
It's exactly 20.
Wow. All right, so 20 to 1.
Uh-huh. Well, no, 18 to 1, because Bakugo and Todoroki don't have their provisional licenses.
Correct. I think they would have been allowed.
Todoroki was there, and he just didn't participate because he didn't have his provisional license. Bakugo was still under house arrest.
Correct. Okay. But
so he was not allowed.
I think Todoroki would have been allowed to fight, but he didn't want to. He was like, let's just see how this goes.
Well, no, I mean, there is a scene where Aizawa goes, you aren't going to fight? And he's like, well, I didn't get my provisional license, so I probably won't be participating in these.
Yeah. So I would ask him that question if he knew the answer. If he'd be like, Todoroki's like, I can fight. He's like, no, you don't have your provisional license. Come on.
I don't know.
Okay. Right.
Maybe he prefers, like, Todoroki has shown, like, in the licensing exam that he prefers to fight by himself. Maybe he thinks such a small space with 19 other people standing there would just get in his way. So he's like, I'm just going to stand back and watch.
He would accidentally burn somebody alive.
Probably.
Maybe.
Go all Endeavor on people. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, movie version of Todoroki fought pretty well with Bakugo, although Bakugo has some natural resistance to fire, so maybe that worked out.
I mean, that's also like 6 people in like an outdoor area for the large part where they're all fighting together.
Yeah, I was talking about more when it's just those two and they're fighting the lower level villains inside the Arboretum.
Yeah, that's still 2 people in a much bigger room than this is.
True enough. Very true.
Yeah.
It's a very enclosed space.
Yeah.
So bottom line, Mirio has the ability to make different parts of his body entirely permeable by everything to an atomic level.
Yeah.
And he can control what parts of his body do that. It's not an all or nothing thing.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not shown that he has like complete control, that he can make like just his tongue go through things and have it full, like, because that's the weird thing. If his body can go through anything, how does his body not go through himself?
It's very Inception of you. I don't know.
Right. Like, how does it remain attached to his leg when he puts it through a wall?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, just a thought I had.
Yes, he maintains some basic level of cohesiveness that doesn't really make sense with the rest of his power, but that's kind of how quirks work in general in this universe, is it doesn't make sense if you look too closely at it.
Yeah, you have to suspend your ability to disbelieve.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. So we've talked about this. There's internal suspension of disbelief, and then there's internal consistency. Right? So people make this argument all the time, and it drives me bonkers. Someone's like, the story in Game of Thrones is garbage. How on earth did they travel from here to here in the enough time to save those people, yada, yada, yada? And they're like, oh, do you think them traveling that distance is hard? There's dragons in this show. And it's like, okay, look, just because magic exists in a fictional universe doesn't mean everything goes. It doesn't mean you have to ignore all the other rules that have been set forth already by the author.
Yeah, I'm following what point you're making.
Okay, so that's all. So I'm just saying,
right.
Yes, with these quirks, there is suspension of disbelief in that they exist at all. But at the same time, I do still expect internal consistency. If they were to establish some type of rules of physics or something that they've said can't be broken and then broke it later, I'd still be upset about it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But what I mean by you have to spend your ability to disbelieve is that not everything is always going to make sense on a surface level, right?
Right.
Like, why can Froppy go invisible?
Wait, she can?
Yeah, she has a new ability. Like, in the provisional license, I think it is. She goes, "I upgraded my like frog level or something." Like, it's a really weird translation, but basically, she's been working on her frog skills and can now camouflage. It's not perfect. She's not invisible girl level of invisible, but she can do that.
Holy crap! I missed that entirely.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, frogs are camouflaged in the sense that they're green and they're in a green environment. So, okay, I don't get why her clothes also turn invisible.
So it just said, well, I guess it's more of a chameleon thing. It says she matches the temperature and color of her surroundings to mask her presence. So it's not that she goes invisible, it's that she camouflages, temperature-wise and visually.
Yes, okay. But, like, if you can't see her, invisible is just a synonym for camouflaged.
Yeah, I don't know that you can't see her. It's just more that she blends into her background fairly
Okay,
well.
yes. Yeah, okay, yes.
Okay.
But at the same time, how does that, like, why do her clothes change?
Superhero costumes are magic.
No, but that's my point. You
Yeah.
just have to look at something like that and be like, okay, that's just kind of how it's going to work.
Yeah.
You can't apply the internal consistency that you would want with quirks.
Correct.
Where everything's consistent.
Yeah. Oh, and the first one I thought of was Bakugo. Sure, he sweats nitroglycerin and can make it explode, and for some reason his body is also really resistant to fire. Because if not, he just blows himself up all the time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. So, anyway, so Mirio has some not super well intrinsically defined powers where he can make himself entirely pass-throughable by anything, which makes him really hard to get punched, is the main concept here.
Yes, he's essentially Kitty Pryde
Ooh, yeah.
from the X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone who needed a reference.
Yeah, someone who's entirely lost but also loves X-Men. There you go.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah, so it's just... He also has done a lot... Like, he doesn't have any physical strength quirks or speed quirks necessarily.
Again...
You think he does?
We talked about this, and it's clearly shown that he's hitting harder than a normal person.
Is it?
Yes.
Because of Kirishima?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's like flooring people in a single punch.
He is.
Right?
I still feel like for like 19 of the 20 people in that class, a single really, really high level normal human person punch is going to take him out.
I mean, I think if Mike Tyson at his prime hit him in the gut, they would fall to the ground.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Except for maybe Kirishima.
Correct.
All right.
He's the one person that it's like, he should be able to take a punch.
He should be able to. But at the same time, there are parts of that fight you do not see. Because the camera pans and you look up and you see Jiro, headphone jack girl. Her headphones are tied around her and Denki, the electric dude. They're like tied up together. And it's like, I didn't see him tie them up. When did he have time to do that?
It's a great question. That does seem like he's got some super speed going on, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, he might have some super speed. Bottom line, he fights the whole class and he beats everybody up. And Midoriya he can't dodge a single anything from this guy, and he basically gets himself beaten real fast. And from a storytelling narrative, I'm not really a fan of that. I feel like if you're going to introduce a new character at the 11th hour in your story, I mean, I guess it's not fair to say it's the 11th hour because it's not the end of the story as far as we know. But this is this late into the game. When Midoriya has worked so hard, when he's fought so many villains and he's been in so many life or death situations, and in this sparring situation, he just doesn't show well at all. And I'm sure this will just be used as motivation for him to work even harder than he has been, and I appreciate that, but it just bothered me. That's all.
I mean, okay, so there's a thing in like muscle development, and when you like go into the gym, it takes you like 6 months to make any muscle, right? To make it like actually grow. It's some ridiculously large number, but you lose it in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You can 3 weeks of inactivity. Maybe that's the kind of thing that they're going for, where he like was only able to like lift weights and clean under house arrest, and he's just not as good as fighter as he was because he took 3 days off.
Just lost his edge.
Yeah.
Maybe. I can see that.
maybe they're trying to show him, like, show that when he was not a part of class, he did fall behind.
Fair. I'm okay with. I kind of wish they were a little bit more clear about that if that's what they're trying to do. But if that's what they're doing, I accept that answer. I like that a lot.
Okay. I think that's what they were doing because Kirishima tries to take first go at Mirio, and he's like, no, it's me. And then it does like a cut to him preaching about how he's going to catch up.
Right.
So I assume that's what they're going for.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I did like Mirio in general. He's kind of a quirky dude, but man, he does kick butt, which is really fun to see him in a true fighting situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, good.
I'm excited to see how they like pair him against actual villains, though.
Yes.
If they do at all.
Yes.
It's like President Mike. He's a fun kind of instructor. He's can amplify his voice, but you never see him fight anyone.
He fights the students and he loses.
Because he's afraid of bugs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But
He lost.
but you don't see how he interacts with like Aizawa in a fight. Like I want to see. Basically, I just want like a My Hero Academia prequel where it's Aizawa, President Mike, and a bunch of the other like younger hero. The teachers as younger students.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I just want to see those group dynamics and how they fight.
Absolutely.
Because you don't get a lot of that.
No. Definitely not.
No.
Yes. So, I'm going to say something. Crap. You can't edit this out either.
No.
Maybe
Maybe big silences like this I'll take out.
It's gone. It's out.
gone.
All right, moving on to things.
Moving on. Okay.
Yeah. So, I have the worst memory of all time, but we both like Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. I thought so, but there are some people in my life who haven't watched it, and I try not to talk to them that much.
I would avoid them like the plague that they are.
Yeah, definitely. So, are you familiar with Dragon Prince?
Yes. I watched most of the first season on your recommendation.
Okay, good. So yeah, I recommended it because I'd watched maybe a couple episodes with my kids. They were just kind of watching it one day when I got home from work, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And it was nice, and it was the same people that are involved in The Last Airbender, and so I haven't actually watched most of the first season, which I'm kind of bummed about. I did watch the very first episode for the first time last night, and it was really good.
Okay.
But anyway, that's just, it's been, I'm just glad there's more from the creators of The Last Airbender and with some interesting characters and whatnot. I mean, obviously, since you didn't finish it, I'm making some assumptions that you didn't enjoy it as much as Last Airbender.
Not nearly as much as The Last Airbender. It felt a little, I don't know. Last Airbender was very clearly like geared at a younger audience, right? But the subject matter was always still fairly an adult thing, right?
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, there's an invading nation and we need to, like, this guy is definitely going to be the solution and we've got to train him. He's got to be trained, right?
Yes. Very basic plot synopsis.
Yes. The Dragon Prince, I felt like, still an adult situation, but the kids involved were way more like kids than I would expect them to be, right? Like, the younger guy, he's going around stealing pastries and stuff.
Yeah.
But then he's also solving hidden combinations of rock pressing to find secret layers. He's too kiddie and too mature at the same time.
Interesting. Okay. So you don't think it's capable to be those two things at once for a person?
I mean, it's not just that, but it's also like refusing to pack after your dad gives you the command to leave the castle, right? And running off on your own. I feel like someone in his position would probably understand and respect the authority of a king.
Good point.
Yeah.
So there are some character inconsistencies you're not down with.
Yeah, and Aang is still a kid, but he goes like penguin sliding, right?
Yes.
And it's still fun. It still feels like fun. This little kid he isn't fun in any sense of the word. He's just kind of annoying that he's there.
And he has a frog.
And he has a frog. The frog is no way near as good as Momo or Appa. So,
Oh, come on. No one's as good as Momo.
yeah, it's true.
It's true. Like, that's not a fair
true.
bar to hold anybody to, let alone a frog.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
That whole part of The Last Airbender where he's missing and they're trying to find him, I'm just like, oh, my heart. He's
Where Momo's missing?
Yeah, he gets kidnapped.
No, that's Appa. Appa's the Sky Bison.
Oh, right. That's Appa. Names are hard. We've established I'm dumb right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep. So good.
And then Aang fights the Fire Lord Su, who comes second place in the in the Fire War.
Yes. Actually, I was talking about The Last Airbender with some coworkers the other day. We all agreed that Fire Lord Ozai was not the most interesting antagonist in the whole show. It was definitely Azula, like 1,000,000%.
Oh, yeah.
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 Okay.
Azula is fascinatingly interesting as an
She's
antagonist.
the best. She crazy. I think my favorite moment from her is when our gang has that plan to take down the Fire Lord during the eclipse. And they break all the way into the secret underground lair of the Fire Lord and get through all these waves of enemies and finally get to this throne room underground and Azula's sitting on the throne. And they're like,
Yeah.
wait, what? It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Fire Lord Ozai, like, is not the most interesting antagonist in the series. It's clearly Azula. But I think him taking second place is, well, maybe not even second place. But his position as the Fire Lord demands he's elsewhere in the story, right? That's why the princess gets to run around and do what she wants, because she's a princess. And I think that helps in her favor.
It does.
That he's not really there until like the very end of the third season.
Yeah.
And when he's there, he's imposing and menacing like the antagonist needs to be. And it's not like he's unconvincing as a bad guy.
No, he's not. He's definitely worrisome.
Yeah.
Well, and I think his biggest impact on the show as a whole is just how he raised Zuko. We get more of Fire Lord Ozai from Zuko's stories about his childhood than anything else.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then Uncle Iroh is more interesting than Aang, so I guess that's how that works. You don't think so? I like Aang. I like Aang a lot, but Uncle Iroh is one of the greatest characters in all of anything. I love him so much.
I love Iroh. He's amazing, no doubt. It's just Aang's the main character.
He is.
Right.
And Ozai is the
He's-
main bad guy.
Iroh is great, but I think Aang's better because you get more of him.
True, you do. But I just think every moment with Iroh, whether he's trying to convince Zuko not to be an asshat, or whether he's retaking Ba Sing Se, or whether he's remembering his son, like it's... Dude, that moment when Zuko's run off and he's going to do all the bad stuff and then he changes his life and comes back around and like reunites with Iroh and Iroh's just in the tent. And Zuko's like, I'm back, Uncle. Like, I'm so sorry. I thought you can hate me if you want. And Iroh just like turns around and gives him this huge bear hug. And I'm like, oh, makes me cry every time. It's such a great moment.
I'm crying now.
I know.
It's such a good scene.
Oh
yeah.
man, it's such a good scene. What does he say? I was never mad at you. Like just sad you'd lost your way or something. Oh. Oh, Iroh.
Iroh and Zuko's relationship is definitely one of the emotional cores of the show.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I think it's more than any other emotional relationship in the entire show.
I think it might be the most, like, the one that's well done, the best.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. But I don't think it's the most important.
Oh, what's the most important then?
The most important one is, I would say, Aang and Katara.
Boring. Aang
Like I
Katara
said.
is Aang crushing on Katara for 3 whole seasons, and then at the end, Katara's like, all right. That's the whole thing.
Like I said, not the most, like, not well done. It's not the most, it's not the highest quality, but it's the one that should be the most important.
Yes, should be. You didn't say should be. You said the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the most
didn't-
important is Iroh and Zuko, and the one that should be the most important is Katara and Aang, but it's not.
Fine.
Okay, good. Honestly, that's always bothered me. She's always seen him as this little kid throughout the entire thing. And at the end, it's like, and then they got married. It's like, wait, what?
Actually, you know what? I'm mistaken. The most important relationship is clearly Soccer and Boomerang.
Okay, I'll give you that one. You came back. He's always so happy when Boomerang comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Boomerang doesn't come back.
No, then that's a big moment. I need to rewatch that show with my copious amounts of free time.
Yes.
Maybe I just won't sleep more than I don't
Sleep is for the week.
It is.
Sleep is for the week.
Sleep when we're dead. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. All right. Well, one quick thing. I do want to follow up on the homework because I know that some people care about that stuff. And I was supposed to.
Homework?
I sent out some tweets last week, and one of the tweets was, well, I don't know if this was on the podcast or not, but I tweeted out, "What's it going to take for a guy to get a voice pack in StarCraft 2?" No response.
No response.
No response. I tweeted at Katie Nolan asking her if they had some way to track how many times one person listened to an episode of their podcast.
Oh, yeah.
No response.
Of course. Well, I mean, you're just like tweeting random stuff at a famous person. So.
Yep. But I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was a good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
She says it every time. She's like, and at the end of the podcast, when you're listening to this the third time, as you're legally mandated to do, it's like, wait, why does she always say that? I've never heard another podcaster say that.
Sounds more and more like a joke.
Yeah, I guess. But she didn't, I don't
Troll
know.
humor.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'd like to know. It'd be interesting if we had that level of granularity on stats for the podcast, I guess.
We do not. Sorry.
We do not. Nope.
Yeah, you tweet a lot.
I know. I mean, a lot of it is content tweet. Hey, look, a new YouTube video. Hey, I'm streaming here. Some of it, though, has been like, hey, this is a funny gift that I found, but not so much lately.
I actually can't find the one where you tweet it. What's her name? Katie?
At Katie? Oh, that was with my other account. That was with my account that actually does sportsy things.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just in case she looks at it and goes, this person tweets about video games a lot. What?
I mean, maybe.
Although she does really like Fortnite, so.
But she only plays the single player, like the
Yes.
the co-op.
The Save the World PvE stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. It's really funny because, yeah, she's like, I met someone and said I play Fortnite, and they're like, oh, I love Fortnite, and then she goes, I play the kind that no one plays, and then the conversation dies. Poor Katie.
Poor Katie.
Poor Katie.
Maybe we should play that, and you can call it practice to get your kids respect.
Is practicing against bots really a good way to get good against people?
I mean, learning how the building and the weapons fire and handle.
Yeah, that's true. Just aiming in general, you can work on that.
I mean, pro players in StarCraft will load up games against bots to practice like macro commands and stuff like that. I saw that Pro was instructing someone on an mouse accuracy
Drill.
mini game. Yeah, drill.
Uh-huh.
And what you would do is you would put a worker at each base of the map, and what you had to do was on your mini map click down on click on the mini map and try and get it in the center of the screen.
Yeah.
And then back up to the worker, move it a little bit, and then again to the next one, and just try and keep doing that to try and train your body. Well, not your body, your eyes, on looking down at the minimap every 2 seconds and having whatever it is you click on be in the center of the screen.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's something that I should probably do. It'd be good for my casting as well, because there are times I'm like, crap, I haven't looked at the minimap in 37 minutes.
Maybe.
Okay, not that long, but it's good for casting and it's good for playing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Probe, through proxy by Somicron.
No worries.
I couldn't help but notice there weren't any Australians in that BlizzCon group stages.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Maybe one day.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we barely have Neeb, and he's not even really supposed to do anything. So.
I mean, you have 3 Germans.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Germany's serious business.
It's like they're blitzkrieging BlizzCon.
The Fourth Reich is going to be established at BlizzCon.
Steinmauer is the Fuhrer.
All right. Well, I think it's NFL minute time. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Excellent.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
What a good week of games in the NFL. Bill Simmons, who I listen to quite a bit, a podcast and whatever personality, said that basically it's two-hand touch football out there. Tackle isn't really allowed. You especially can't necessarily crush the quarterback. So we've seen instances of defensive players pulling up on tackling the quarterback because they're not quite sure if they can do it legally, and then the quarterback gets away and throws a touchdown. So that's interesting to watch. Chiefs and Patriots played probably the best game of the season last night in Sunday Night Football. Patriots won 43-40 because the Chiefs scored the touchdown to tie it at 40 apiece with too much time remaining. It was like a minute 30 left. Tom Brady's done this 1,000 times. Let him down for the game-winning field goal. Bam. Mahomes, our young quarterback we've been keeping an eye on, did not have a good first half, but definitely rallied, came back for an amazing second half, throwing for, I think, 3 or 4 touchdowns, and just did everything he could to help his team win, but his defense was garbage. Packers beat the Niners in the history, or the 2 most injured teams bowl today in Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers, I thought for sure he'd torn every muscle in his knee a couple weeks ago, but he actually didn't. So it's good to see these old guys kind of dancing around and some great games to boot.
All right.
Ta-da!
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, well, cool. That's going to be it from us for this edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour. Oh, I also had a thought. If you have somebody you'd like us to have on as a guest for the podcast, we'd take suggestions for that as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, falconpaladin@gmail.com. Sweet.
What's Katie's at on Twitter?
Yeah. That would be actually. Anyway. Feel free to check out the merch. We've got shirts. We've got mugs. We have phone cases in these show notes here as well. And until next time, as always, thanks for listening. And you take care of yourself.